CD Projekt Red gets hacked, and the source codes for its games are now being auctioned off in the dark web. Let's talk about it some more. So, according to this article from Ars Technica, written by Kyle Orland, VX Underground, which tracks ransomware and other malware attacks, noted on Wednesday that the ransom source codes have been posted on the dark web forum known as Exploit. The starting bid was reportedly $1 million with a 500,000 bidding increment and $7 million to buy it now price.
Like, what's funny? Like, this is actually kind of hilarious to me. Like, the fact that, like, they just the bad luck upon bad luck with CD Projekt Red. Like, there's nothing positive with anything happening with them, and the fact that they got their source code hacked, I don't even know how. It kind of maybe like an insider threat. Maybe I don't know how this has even happened. It has to be because, like, I work IT and whatnot, so the only way to access a source code is someone who's actually inside and able to download it somehow and put it into the dark web. Like, probably some disgruntled employee. My guess, we're just making guesses right now. That's the only way this is possible. I guess a hacker could like infiltrate it if it's like a bad exploit. Like, there's a back door into their source code that's been leaked or something like that. That's another way that can be potential. Uh, but yeah, there has to be something bad with their security in terms of, like, you know for this to happen.
For anyone who isn't familiar with how programming games work, the source code is pretty much like I would say the DNA of the game.
There's a couple of variety of different things. Obviously, you have the game engine. That's basically the what's happened behind the scenes, like the algorithms based on it, the AI. That's the game engine, and then there's also programming stuff in terms of, like, the graphical. You still have to program that into it, assets used in the games, and they put it all together to make a game.
CD Projekt Red told on Monday that documents relating to accounting, administration, legal, human resources, investors relations, and more were taken as part of the attack, adding that we will not give in to the demands nor negotiate with the actor, being aware that this may eventually lead to the release of the compromised data. Security experts analyzing the ransom note shared by CDPR have identified the hacking group known as Hello Kitty as the likely culprit of the ransomware attack. The same group was reportedly behind a ransomware attack on Brazilian power company CEMIG, among others, late last year. It's not just game assets; it's also personal information.
Well, it's kind of like, let's say, like, a bank got hacked, and they got the access to the customers' social security numbers, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Like, probably their address, maybe,
yeah,
uh,
employee
you
information. Um,
salary.
yeah, like profit numbers.
Hmm.
And according to this, investor relations. It's interesting here that they're saying that CD Projekt Red, it's not giving into, it's not going to negotiate with these people that's ransoming their information.
Well,
It's kind of funny too. It's almost like an action movie, right? Like a bunch of people are
well,
being held hostage.
well. To be honest, like, that's kind of like how that's the protocol that everyone has. Like, for example, if our systems are hacked, like, we're not, or like the government's been hacked, for example, they're not going to negotiate with terrorists, and that's
Hmm.
just the protocol that everyone uses. Because if you, let's say, hypothetically, they will abide by the whatever they want, then they can exploit that and demand even higher later on if they get exploited again. So if you set a precedence where we're not going to negotiate, then that kind of, like, there's no escalation, basically.
Let's talk about the supposed buyout of the assets. As of recording of this video, the auction is apparently closed. Someone did end up buying the assets for a couple of million. The attack happened on Monday. The story came out like on Wednesday, and it's Friday now. So I'm assuming that someone ended up buying using the buy it now feature for 7 million. 7 million isn't really a lot of money for for some people. The speed of the sale is sort of indicating that it's already been bought off. Um, But there's a theory going around. They were saying how it's possible that CD Projekt Red themselves may have ended up rebuying the assets secretly. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Like, I guess they could because they would definitely have the money to do it.
Yeah,
And instead of like giving demands to the terrorists, they just buy it back, and 7 million they can probably make that money back in the long run. I don't know. So it's a
right.
possibility.
According to this update here on this article, at least one analyst sees reason to doubt the seller's report of a separate buyer swooping in from outside the auction. There's another possible scenario that we think is more likely. No buyer exists, and the closure of the auction is simply a means for the criminals to save face after failing to monetize the attack following CD Projekt Red's refusal to pay the ransom. According to this, we have seen this behavior in the past with R Evil, a ransomware group that threatened to release damaging information about Donald Trump. Although the hacked law firm refused to pay to prevent the leak, the information was never published. The attacker just claimed to have sold it.
I think the lightning scenario is like, for example, okay, if someone was to buy it, like outside of the company, for example, they would have already leaked that information. You know what I mean? Like, we would have seen it somewhere happen already. If someone already bought it, like let's say the siege part of it did end up buying it, then that's more likely scenario where that's why it hasn't been leaked.
Hmm.
And to them, 7 million is like you talked about, probably not that much. There aren't they a billion-dollar company? So yeah, like 2.3 billion, for example, that's compared to 7 million, that's chump change. So it's a pretty light scenario. I think that they bought it back just so that whatever source information they want to like prevent from other people, whatever their trade secret is, that seems fair, I think. But obviously, that's just speculation.
Yeah, it's definitely speculation, and I completely agree. I think that's like the likely scenario as well. Let's talk about like the possibility of someone publicly releasing the CDPR assets. If they were to release it publicly, um, modders and programmers would have access to CD Projekt Red's assets. Then it would probably allow them to play around with the game some more, right? Like probably
They
allow them to help fix the
fix
game.
you probably fix the game, yeah.
Yeah, they probably fix
Yeah.
the game faster than CD Projekt Red themselves.
But didn't they release a modding kit anyway for the Cyberpunk? Pretty sure they did, because I remember in the news maybe last week or 2 weeks that we forgot to cover is the modding community actually made a couple of like sex scenes
Oh,
with
Keanu.
Keanu
Yeah, yeah,
Reeves.
yeah,
There was a post saying stop having sex with Keanu,
yeah.
but like yeah, modders are like incredibly like, I don't know how they do it because I'm not a modder myself, but if you give them a modded kit like that, that gives them access to their assets anyway. But I think what they care about more so is their engine. They don't want them to know their red engine. I think it's called the red engine, and that's probably more highly sought after than just assets.
Mm.
Assets can come and go. Like, yeah, yeah, you still Keanu Reeves assets, whatever. Like that to them, they don't care about that. They care more about their engine, their proprietary engine that they use for their systems, whether for this games or prior games, and also the fact that private information was probably leaked. We like that's probably more important to them than stealing assets.
Yeah. If like a smaller gaming company wants to use
Hmm.
the engine, doesn't CD Projekt Red technically legally own the engine, so they wouldn't be able to use it?
Yeah, they won't be able to legally sell it, but they can make games off that engine and just basically what's it called, make it a free game, basically, with if they use their engine. So that's the only thing they can do. CDPR has so much legal backing that they can do a cease and desist on that game, whether it's free to play or not. And if that source code is leaked or whatever, then in a way CD Projekt doesn't really care. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that's I totally agree with that too. Yeah, I mean they legally own it, so it's not like anyone else can make money off of it except for them,
Mhm.
right? Because I mean, isn't that what do you call that? The people behind the Unreal Engine, isn't that what
I
they
mean,
do?
Nintendo does it all the time, even with the modding community. Like if someone makes something from Nintendo, cease and desist. That's just what they do. Like it's very very easy to do. They have the money to do so. Like you said before, they're a $1 billion company, so they have legal backing and they can afford it. Whereas someone makes something for free and they don't have the money, whatever, then yeah, they have no way to defend it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed our content, you can support us by liking and subscribing. And feel free to leave a comment down below. See you guys in the next video.